Comparison is a thief that wears a smile. When competition becomes identity, everything becomes a scoreboard. There will always be someone with more. But that constant loop of better, faster, more isn't making us stronger. It's making us smaller. You don't have to win to be worthy. You just need to be fully you. This is The Unhappy American, a short-run podcast calling out the lies, flipping the script, and giving you real tools to take your happiness back. Because you don't need to do more. You need to do different. Subscribe now, not to the life they told you to want, but to the one you choose. From the second you could hold a pencil, you were graded, ranked, compared, taught that worth is won, and someone else's win is your loss. So you learn to scan every room for who's ahead, to scroll your feed like a scoreboard, to measure your life by someone else's metrics. Comparison is a thief that wears a smile. It feels like ambition, but it's actually anxiety in disguise. Confidence doesn't come from being better than other people. It comes from being on your own damn side. And the minute you realize that, you stop chasing someone else's finish line. Because happiness isn't about being the best. It's about being free. Are you actually growing, or are you just outperforming someone else to feel safe? Because while you're busy trying to outshine her, you're dimming your own damn light. And that's the lie. That there's a hierarchy of humans. That some people are simply better, smarter, stronger, worth more. And your job is to climb, to beat the curve, to win at life. We're taught this from the beginning. In school, you're ranked, graded, sorted, told to compete in everything, even if it's not your strength. Told to be well-rounded, as if being the best at everything is natural. It's not. That's not how humans are built. We're not designed to dominate alone. We're wired to contribute differently, to collaborate, to fill in each other's gaps. That's not weakness. It's intelligence. It's how we survive. But when competition becomes identity, everything becomes a scoreboard. Your job title, your salary, your wedding, your kid's preschool. We rank it, compare it, try to win at it. And here's the kicker. Even when you're winning, you can still feel like you're losing. A study of Olympic athletes found that silver medalists were less happy than bronze medalists. Why? Because silver focused on what they didn't get, gold. Bronze focused on what they almost lost, any medal at all. Same podium, wildly different feelings. That's what this system does to us. It warps our perception of enough. It convinces us that close isn't good enough. That being second best is basically failure. This isn't just about athletes. This is about all of us, burned out, overworked, trying to outdo each other in a race. No one is winning. Because if your happiness depends on being above someone else, you'll never be free. There will always be someone with more. That's the real lie, that you have to be better than to be worthy of. And it's killing connection. It's turning potential collaborators into rivals. It's making us suspicious of each other's wins instead of inspired by them. But you don't have to live like that. You weren't made to compete with everyone. We were made to belong. So what happens when you stop living like life's a leaderboard? Well, you stop chasing gold stars. You stop side-eyeing other people's wins. You stop acting like success is a scarce resource. You stop competing with everyone and start connecting to yourself. Confidence isn't dominance. It's permission. Not permission to be the best, permission to begin. We've been taught to earn confidence, be the smartest, be the fastest, be the strongest. Then, and only then, you can maybe feel good about yourself. That's not confidence. That's control. Real confidence is messy. It's unfinished. It's walking into the room without a polished pitch because you trust that you'll figure it out. It doesn't say I'm better. It says I'm ready. Confidence is not the prize at the end of the race. It's the reason you start running. And you don't need to build it in a vacuum. You build it in motion, with support, with safety, with enough belief, your own or someone else's, to take the first damn step. Because when you live in a system designed to rank people, you learn to wait. Wait until you're perfect. Wait until you're sure. Wait until you're better than someone else. But when you live in abundance, you go. You try. You show up. You take the mic. You say yes before you're certain, and you figure it out as you go. That's confidence. And it's not born from competition, it's born from community. Confidence isn't a crown, it's a muscle. And the more you practice, the less you need to perform. Here's how to build it in a world trying to make you doubt it. Start playing the game of one. Every time you catch yourself comparing, pause. Then ask, what would I do today if I were only competing with yesterday's me? Not better than her, braver than her, clearer than her, kinder to myself than I was yesterday. That's your benchmark. Because comparison will always rob you. But self-trust, that's an asset that compounds. And next, act before you're sure. Confidence doesn't require certainty. It requires motion. You don't have to feel ready to take the mic, to speak up in the meeting, to hit publish, or to say the bold thing. You just have to move before your fear gets the final word. Start small, but start. Confidence grows every time you choose courage over comfort, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands sweat. The moment you act anyway, you're already building it. And if you run a team or a business, your people don't need more pressure. They need more belief. Build a culture that says, you don't have to be perfect to belong here. You just have to be in progress. Normalize feedback that uplifts without sugarcoating. Celebrate growth over genius. Reward collaboration, not just individual wins. Because when people feel safe, they stretch, they risk, they rise. And when they do, you get innovation, you get loyalty, you get a team that moves with real earned confidence, not fear-based performance. Look, constant comparison isn't harmless, it's toxic. It fuels anxiety, burnout, and self-doubt, especially in a world where likes, salaries, step counts, and skincare routines all feel like scoreboards. And it doesn't stop at work. You aren't in competition with her, not the mom in the pickup line who somehow looks like she had 8 hours of sleep and a green juice. You're not competing with John in accounting who drops the perfect meme in Slack every time timesheets are due. You're not behind because you didn't run a marathon, meal prep, and negotiate a raise all before noon. That's the illusion. It feels real because we've been trained to measure ourselves against everyone all the time. But that constant loop of better, faster, more isn't making us stronger. It's making us smaller. And it only gets worse when your self-worth depends on winning. Remember those Olympic medalists? Silver finishers were less happy than bronze because they were focused on what they missed, not what they achieved. That's not failure. That's comparison poisoning joy. So here's your wake up. Stop letting algorithms and external timelines define your enoughness. Stop playing a game that was rigged to keep you running and never arriving. Stop treating other people's success like it's your loss. Instead, grow at your own pace. Choose confidence over competition. Measure progress against your past self, not someone else's curated highlight reel. Because confidence isn't about being the best. It's about believing success is possible and knowing you're allowed to get there your way. Real freedom doesn't come from outpacing others. It comes from stepping off the track and finally owning your own path. So what does a happy American look like? They're not sprinting through life with their jaw clenched and their fists up. They've opted out of the race. They don't need to be the smartest in the room. They just need to keep learning. They don't have to win every argument. They care more about staying curious than being right. They cheer other people on because someone else's success doesn't threaten theirs. It expands it. It reminds them what's possible. They know their lane, they know their pace, and they've stopped checking the sidelines for who's ahead. You'll see it in how they move through the world. They collaborate instead of compete. They reflect instead of react. They give compliments freely without resentment. They ask for help without shame. They've dropped the armor of better than and picked up the tools of confidence, the kind built on self-trust, not superiority. And because of that, they're more grounded, more generous, more alive, not performative, not perfect, just rooted in who they are and no longer afraid that it's not enough. Because in a culture that feeds on comparison, being secure in yourself isn't just rare, it's revolutionary. So here's your move. Stop performing confidence and start practicing it. Unfollow the accounts that fuel your insecurity. Compliment the person you used to compare yourself to. Do one thing today that future you will be proud of, whether anyone else sees it or not. And if you're ready to stop chasing someone else's finish line, subscribe to The Unhappy American. Share this episode with the person who's always hustling but never feels ahead. Happiness isn't a competition. It's a commitment to your growth, your wholeness, and your damn light. You don't have to win to be worthy. You just need to be fully you.